Hi guys, back again. There's going to be no bees in this video, but that was quite an interesting thing to be a part of. A nice sense of achievement because it was really struggling when I got home, and it was just on the wall outside. So, but he ended up flying off, so that was cool. But anyway, as a lot of you know, this year I've been selling a lot of things, so I can get those records that I have always wanted. And the first Grail record for me has arrived. This is actually the second copy that I've bought, but the first one I had to send back because it was scratched to hell. So, go straight into it. Sorry if I'm a bit sleepy, but I've not long got up. The first of my Grail records might not be too much of a surprise, might not be what some people are expecting it to be, but it is the debut album by the Grateful Dead. The most I've spent on a record for a long time. This is an original UK mono pressing. As you can see, it's in beautiful condition. Perfectly clear spine. Nice clean back. It just has this one little sticker on it. It was obviously the original dealer's sticker, but this is a fantastic album. It's one that I wanted for a long time, and you can just see how beautifully crisp that is. And this is the kind of thing that has spurred me on to buy the records, sell the records. The original in the sleeve, still in pretty good condition, and most importantly, the disc itself is the original gold Warner Brothers label. Now, I think the gold label, the US pressings, are way more common than the UK ones. These gold label UK pressings are few and far between, and as you can see, the disc itself is spotless. Plays fantastically, and I'm delighted to finally have this. So here it is, my first Grail from the fruits of my labour. So there we go. One down. I think there's still 9 things on the list. I don't know whether to add, now I've bought that, to add something else on. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. But anyway, other things. I have recently discovered somewhere else locally that is selling records. I don't think it's a deliberate choice of theirs. They just had a big box of records in. And I was with my wife and my little boy, so I didn't really have time to have a good rummage through everything. But I picked out a few things. Firstly, I picked up this really clean copy of Mike Oldfield's On a Dawn. got the laminated sleeve. I think this is the first pressing. It's on the Virgin label. I don't think this was early enough to get a black and white label pressing. So I've not really checked into it. But this was an album that I've been looking for. Pretty much anything on Virgin, especially the Caroline subsidiary, I like to pick up. So I was pleased to find that. Picked up a few Beach Boys albums. Best of the Beach Boys. Now I've had numerous copies of this, but the ones that I've had have all been mono copies. This is the stereo one. It's easy to spot because it doesn't have, the mono ones all have mono up here, but this was really clean again. This is on the Capital Rainbow Rim label. And the Best of the Beach Boys Volume 2. Again, this is really clean. I've never had this one. This is one of those things that's really easy to pick up, but you can pick it up off eBay for a couple of quid, but then you have to pay, you know, £4 postage or whatever. So I've just waited because I knew I'd find one eventually, and it's paid off. So happy to have that. Again, that's a stereo one, noted by the ST. That's that. And then finally, the Beach Boys 2020, which was an album that I didn't have in any format. So I was pleased to have this. It's got the eye chart there with Brian Wilson peeking over the top. You'll notice he's not actually on the cover of this one, because this is when he was, I think he was in rehab, or possibly that time when he kind of confined himself to his bed. So although he did have some input, I think for the most part, he doesn't feature too heavily on this album. But there's some good songs on this. It's not their best album by a long shot, but it was one that I didn't have, and it was in really nice condition as well. So I'm happy to have picked those up. It was one of those things I bought, maybe, I think I had £7 on me at the time, and they were £1 each, so I ended up having to dump a couple of them because they were too scratched. And finally, the more eagle-eyed among you may have noticed this here, which was the only US Record Store Day release that I wanted this year, which is Heady Nugs 2006 to 2012 box set. This never got a UK release, and I think on Record Store Day it was selling for $150, which works out at about 100 UK pounds. So subsequently I saw it started selling for kind of $90, $95. So I kind of did the maths and figured out some postage, and I figured if I could get one for less than $100, that's about £60–65. With the import charges and postage, it still worked out to be £100, which I figured this thing, if it does get a UK release for Black Friday, is probably going to be more than £100. So it was worth the risk. And like I said, I've been selling items, so I could afford the things that I wanted. And this is, excuse me, this is one of those items that I wanted. Box set containing the albums At War with the Mystics, Once Beyond Hopelessness, Embryonic, Dark Side of the Moon, and Heady Fwens. I have a few of these albums already, but I've never had Once Beyond Hopelessness, and which is the Christmas at Mars soundtrack, and Embryonic. They're all on black vinyl, whereas originally, I think when they were released, they were all released on coloured vinyl. But I'm delighted to have this finally. Well, I say finally, it's not really taken me that long to get it. But curiosity, I don't know what your thoughts on this are. If you see here, it says limited edition 8 LP set. Now, I don't know about you, but I would say that was a 5 LP set. The fact that some of the records here are a double LP is kind of besides the point. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a 5 LP set, or do you think it's an 8 LP set? It's 5 albums. I would say that was 5 LPs. But that's a pernickety. I knew what I was getting, so it's not like false advertising. But yeah, I'm delighted to finally have this, and it looks pretty cool on the shelf, tucked in there between my other box sets. So there we go. That's my finds for this month. I'm going to have to start selling things because I haven't been selling anything. Therefore, my PayPal balance has decreased significantly. I've been frantically cleaning records. I've been getting through maybe 20 or 30 records a night, so I can maybe do something over this summer locally, get a lot of things sold. But yeah, there we go, 12.5 minutes, plenty long enough. This is my second attempt at this video because the first one went on far too long and YouTube wouldn't let me upload it. So hope everyone's fine, and take care.